Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Ginger, once again, and welcome to another podcast. This is of the 1996 TV movie that came out years after the original show, before the Netflix movie came out this year. Munsters' Scary Little Christmas from 1996. Yeah, we're going to do this one. It's short, so I want to get it done. Let's go. And yes, I did enjoy the Munsters movie this year. I think it's better than this one because it's more in the spirit of the show, even though some people hated it because, like, it's too modern or whatever. No, it wasn't that modern. This one's way more modern. There it is. There's the title. Sam McMurray, he's Herman Munster, and Magnuson. She's a really good Lily. She looks just like this one. Bug Hall. Sandy Barron. The only one I don't like in this movie is the guy that plays Grandpa. He looks nothing like Grandpa. The problem is that Al Lewis was still alive, but he was too old. Elaine Hendricks is Marilyn. She does fine. But like I said, Grandpa in the show had a big nose, and his eyes were beady. I don't think that this guy that plays Grandpa is very good. His accent is fine. It's just he doesn't look like Grandpa. That's why. In the new movie, I think the guy that played Grandpa did just fine because he embodied Al Lewis's, essence. Kevin Murphy is one of the guys that worked on this movie. He's one of the guy that does the voice of Tom Servo in the original Mystery Science Theater 3000. Not the recent one, but there he is. What they did well in these movies, these Munsters movies, even with the original cast, they nailed the tone. It's supposed to be corny and over the top and campy because that's how the show was. It had no budget. And it had to have witty dialogue and funny scenarios in order to be entertaining because they only had 2 seasons. And Sam McMurray does sound like he sounds more like Fred Gwynn than the guy that was in the new one. But I did like the new guy. I think it was Jeff Phillips or something like that. He did great as Herman. Anthrax, yeah, that was a big deal in the late 90s and the early 2000s when people were finding that. And I love the show. If people say I don't love the show, I used to watch the show as a kid. It was black and white, both seasons, and it was funny. There's some jokes that still land really, really high. This movie's heart is in the right place. And it's in color because they didn't want people to see things in black and white because, apparently, this Grandpa just, I don't know, Elaine Hendricks. She was G2 in Inspector Gadget 2. His eyes are too big. He looks more like Woody Allen than he does Grandpa. Just Grandpa on the show didn't have big eyes. Because, and some people said, talking shit about Monster High. I'm like, those actresses worked their asses off to be in that movie. So when they played Draculaura and Claudine and Frankie and Laguna Blue, they look like the dolls. So it's fine. There's Eddie. Yeah. He's a cute kid, just like Butch Patrick was in the original show. Granted, Eddie was not in the new movie, but it's because he wasn't born yet. It's a prequel. It was a origin for how Herman and Lily met each other in Transylvania. It doesn't matter what they look like. It mainly is if they embody the characters. Most of these people did. And that's why I like this movie. Because when they did the Addams Family movies in the 90s, the first 2 theatrically released ones, they actually were good. Because who did the movies? Not Tim Burton. The guy that did Men in Black. Barry Sonnenfeld, he respected the show. He didn't like do he did his own thing, but he homaged the show really well. I haven't seen Wednesday, but you know it's because it's dark, and I'm like I don't want my Christmas to be bleak, guys. The only violent Christmas movie I want to see is Violent Night because I love David Harbour. He's a good actor. Yay! Here's some. I'm sick of bullies in movies. Please stop putting bullies in movies. Why are people dicks? You know, why can't they just leave you alone? I went through this when I was a kid. That's why I don't want to deal with people next year. Ooh, that did not age well. I'm not going to repeat that because Hanukkah's in 2 weeks. So, yeah. Bug Hall was a good alfalfa in the first Little Rascals movie. I've always liked him. He was in the third Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you know, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. And he made a cameo in the Little Rascals sequel. That's Mary Woronov, I think. Yeah, she's a classically trained actress. Yeah, it doesn't say her name here. Also, John Landis produced this, so he did, you know, American Werewolf in London. So you had talented people working on this movie. It wasn't the Asylum that made this movie. Well, Kevin Murphy wrote it. Yeah, he wrote it. I thought he produced it because this was '96. So Mystery Science Theater was a few years away from ending. So until they rebooted it on Netflix, and now they have a new version. And yes, Lily does walk like this. So if people were like, why is she walking like this in the movie? Because she walks like that in the show. They're trying to be accurate. I guess being accurate is not enough for some critics. They're so harsh. They're like, this is stupid. I'm like, it has to be. Oh, there's the bird. Yeah. Nevermore, nevermore. Yeah. Mel Blanc did the voice in the show. It's supposed to be morbid. It's supposed to be macabre. It's a freaking show with universal monsters being funny. Yeah, being more comedic and lighthearted. They're not killing people or running away from people or terrifying people. I I remember. I know Eddie. I know how you feel. Trust me. Christmas has been hard for me the last 10 years without my aunt and my grandparents. Yeah, it's been hard, guys. And my uncle who just passed away last year. So, but I'm still giving. I'm not giving up hope. I have a new year coming up, and my brother's moving out, and I'm gonna have a great time in 2023 with all the movies coming out. So I'm very happy. It's a good kid, Bug Hall. He's close to my age. So yeah, so I had a hard year. This was not an easy year just because I didn't work that much. I did a lot of housework, and it was a lot of. It's been a rough year for all of us. Yeah, Herman always does, man. Because a lot of these fathers are usually buffoons, but they try to do their best. When it comes to your kids, you do whatever it takes. Yeah, get my banana. And Transylvania is just a fictional city in Romania. So because I looked it up, it's like where's Transylvania? Oh, it's a fictional land in in Romania. So Romania is a real country. They use that same place in Castlevania. Get it? 666? Yeah, I get it. When I was 11, maybe me, yeah. As long as I get a new phone next year, I'll be fine. I don't know what it is. He's just a little bit too stoic to be Grandpa, because Grandpa was big and larger than life and over the top in the show. Here, he's like very stoic and just kind of restrained. That's why they should have gotten another actor. The guy in the new movie was great. He gave me the first joke that made me laugh. He had a mustache, but he made me laugh. Yeah, remember chalkboards when you had to write on them with chalk and not markers? Or use digital screens like they do now? Does it snow in Romania? I don't know. That joke did not age well. This is a family film, right? Yeah, it's not rated, but yeah, I'm gonna make it snow in your pants. Yeah, I don't think that's a joke that would be said. At least Rob Zombie didn't use that joke in the new movie. He got the spirit of the show. People just hated it because it's not the show. I'm like, it will never be the show. This movie's not the show either, and neither was the Munsters Revenge or the Munsters Go Home. No, they're not the show, and those have the original actors mostly. What works is if the characters are contained and they're funny. That's what matters to me. Is that the actor from Revenge of the Sith? It could be. I think it is him. Yeah, because he's a good actor. He has those big eyes. He was also in Inspector Gadget 2. That's a little harsh. Because I like it. Lane Hendricks has the innocence of either Pat Priest or Beverly Owen, who two actresses played Marilyn. It wasn't just one. It was like two Lionels in the Jeffersons. I know my old TV guys. My aunt used to make. I used to watch a lot of old TV shows when she was alive. The Honeymooners, I Love Lucy, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, the Munsters. A lot of stuff. You shouldn't drink something untested. Spots under the tree. Yeah, they showed Spot's origin in the movie. Because in the show it was just a head and they showed a tail. They never show Spot's whole body because they didn't have the budget. That looks awesome. Because time marches on, Bug Hall. That's why. I'm in my 30s now, but I still want to enjoy my holiday. At least I still have my family. COVID did not take me away. I'm not going to let it end me. We just lost another actor, Kirstie Alley. Rest in peace. I miss you. 71 years old, man. It was too soon. But, at least she's not going to be suffering anymore. Because 2022 was a disastrous year for celebrities, the worst since 2016. I know celebrities die every year, but this year it was like back to back. After Betty White, it was the worst. It was the worst. That's why this year was worse than last year. I'm still here, and I'm still going to be doing these podcasts for you guys. I know no one wanted to see this podcast, but it's fine. The makeup looks amazing in this movie for 1996. They had to get the characters look. They couldn't do like when they make an anime live action and they run it completely into the ground like Dragon Ball Evolution, where they don't even look like the characters. That's a problem. Yeah, you have to look like the characters and act like the characters. It doesn't matter what race you are. Gamora is played by a Hispanic that is doing a bunch of CGI in Avatar. She did fine, you know. I didn't love her in the first movie when I first saw it, but then when the sequel came out, I gave her a chance and she wowed me. And I miss her, and I can't wait to see her in 3. Yeah, I see a woman. Woo! Auga! Yeah, exactly. Because she's a sexy woman. I get it. With short hair, by the way. Because when I saw that Radio City Musical, Christmas movie yesterday, I was glued. I thought the world was going to start spinning around. Because Gina Claire Mason, excuse me, not Thomas, she's one of the sexiest things I've ever seen in my life. Because I'm like, oh my God, who are you? I know every heterosexual man does that. No, you're not. Oh God, no. Yes, she does. Please stay alive, Elaine Hendricks. I want to meet you at Comic Con. That's why when I meet people at Comic Con, I never take that for granted. I met Amy Jo Johnson 3 years ago, and it made my day. I saw her, and I couldn't believe it. Yes. Again, just like with Gina Claire, your face can light up a room. I know exactly what a beautiful woman looks like. I have excellent taste in women, and so does my friend Josh. Because he loves these white girls with red hair. I can see why. Some of them are not for me personally, but that's because I'm not into bintos. But it's fine. Everybody has different strokes for different folks. But what we both can agree on is we're both hetero for females, and that's exactly the way it should be. Hey, classic film collector. You have never seen The Munsters. It's a classic TV show. Watch the show first, then watch this movie, and then you can watch on the Netflix movie. I recommend it. It's not a classic, but it made me laugh. Yes. Yes. You're a woman with human features. That's exactly what guys go for. Guy! When that worked in Strange World, it didn't work. So, Ethan, is there a sweetheart at home? He's like, well, there is this guy. And he's like, what the guy? I love that double toaster review. That is spot on. People were not ready for a Disney movie where a guy likes another guy. It's just not going to happen. Luca was an exception. They were friends. They didn't kiss at the end. They were nice, good, wholesome friends. Bros. Not bros, if you get my drift. Can a guy find me attractive? Of course you are. You're a woman. Let me guess. You think Toni Collette is worse than Margot? She's not a good-looking woman, and I don't like her as an actress. She's just flat for me. Margot, I've only seen like 3 films with her. That's it. 3. Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, and Legend of Tarzan. That's it. That's it. I haven't seen I, Tanya or any of that. Or dramas, because I just don't think she can act. She's not for me. I prefer Jamie Presley. He's having a dream. Yeah. Yeah, there's there's the tantrum, yeah, that he does in every episode of the show. He repeats himself again and again, and then the ground shakes. Hey, I was the first person to buy Christmas presents for my family, so that's as selfless as you can get. First was my sister, then my uncle, and then my other uncle. People are just scared of him because of what he looks like on the outside. That was like a running gag in the show that they would just look at him like, "Oh my God, you beautiful, beautiful woman." This is a nude artist, I think. Yeah. Yeah, they don't show anything though, because again, family film. Dun, 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 dun. I do appreciate the theme song in the show. Yes, Agatha's theme in the WandaVision was homage from the show, from the Munsters. Green legs. Oh my God! Yeah, gift wrapping. Yeah, father's determined to do things for his kids. I get it. As being a kid myself, when I was in the 80s, and so was my brother, yeah. But I like to pitch in too. Blood donors needed. I've done that a lot this year. Which song do you think is worse, Beyond the Mysterious Beyond or Catchy from the Lego Movie? They both suck, but I think Beyond the Mysterious Beyond, because why are there aliens in the Land Before Time movie? This is when they try to stick them in needles. Hey, I got 3 needles this year in 3 different occasions. Moderna shot, flu shot, and I donated blood at least 3 or 4 times this year. There's a giant needle they use for animals. He has green blood so that there's no gore in the movie. Yeah. If it bleeds, we can kill it, like in Predator. It's green because they don't want to make it red and then scare people off. Wow, his blood is Nickelodeon slime. Yeah, I know, Herman. I know. I do it every year, but to save the people of this world that deserve it, I do it every year, man. It makes me a hero. Because Catchy Song is like, this song is gonna get stuck in your head, and I'm like, I forgot all about it because I didn't care. It was a terrible freaking song. The first Lego movie had Everything is Awesome, and you couldn't even come close to it. But Beyond the Mysterious Beyond, it was dumb. It didn't fit the movie. Aliens, and then Petrie had an uncle that was never explained. He just came out of nowhere. I'm like, there's the creature from the Black Lagoon. He has a different name. He's one of the uncles in the show. But they use it because it's a Universal movie, and at least Universal were not doing their own cinematic universe with this, like The Mummy 2017. There's the Wolfman. Great makeup effects, by the way. At least most of the actors in this movie are still alive. They're older now. Trust me, actors really appreciate when you put the effort to being a fan of theirs. They don't care what that they've done. If you are a fan of it and you remind them how much you're a fan, it'll put a smile on their face. I did that with Rachel earlier this year. I didn't go to the LA Comic-Con. I don't live in Los Angeles. I live in New York. But the New York Comic-Con's always good. You heard, yeah, what happened to Kirstie Alley? Yes, I just said rest in peace to her. I miss her a lot. I'm not going to check IMDb on New Year's Eve because I don't want to be sad. For once in my life, I want to enter a new year without burdens because I've had so many of them this year. The only thing they got right for Grandpa is that he does, the magical spells in the lab. That's fine, but the actor just didn't. Yeah, there's Santa, yay! Yeah, it's always good to see Santa in one of these movies. It's a very iconic symbol of Christmas that we all love to see. Unlike some of the insignias of the holiday that are just I'm sick and tired. There's the elves, yeah. And I keep the DVDs because this movie's hard to find on streaming. A new Monsters movie was on Netflix, so it's going to be there for a while. Netflix isn't going anywhere. The elves are a little bit. They're more like anti-heroes here because they're thinking of themselves. But I don't blame them. Hey, after what I did this year, yeah. There's the house, the Munster house. Under what conditions would you watch the Santa Clauses? I've been watching it, Classic Film Collector. I've been watching it. I didn't like what they did in the last episode, but it's not painful. there's a lot of charm and heart to in the show, and I do like seeing Tim Allen back and Elizabeth Mitchell and all these other characters. Excuse. There's Santa. He made it to the Munster. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're little people. Yeah, and I love Elf. When I did when I did that podcast, for Elf, I was laughing my ass off because I love that movie so much. Yeah, California. For some reason, they had a Comic Con and it's winter. It's almost winter. I guess in California it never snows. That's why. Did you see all 4 episodes? Yes, I did. It's charming. It's not one of these overly long shows like Andor. It's not painfully boring like Moon Knight was just it got old after a while, and it's not stupid like She-Hulk. I'm twerking. No, there's none of that in the show. It's more for families. It's not PG-13. I mean, I did like the holiday special of Guardians, but that's because I love the characters so much. Yeah, there's some dated CGI here, but it's not a lot. Just like in the movie from 2022. Because again, it was 96. Episode 1, 2, and 4 I liked. Three was mad. Yeah, that joke was just I did like the song Last Christmas, but that's it. The joke at the end of episode that was horrendous. Which joke? I don't remember the joke in episode 3. I thought it was, some of the jokes land and some of them are just dated references. We get it, Tim Allen. You were around, the first movie was in 94. I was 9. You don't have to reference our Radio Shack and Blockbuster and all this because it was the 90s. I get it. Captain Marvel already beat you to it because they show Blockbuster, Radio Shack, etc. I was there in 1995. I was 10. And I loved the 1995. Compared to the last 3 years of isolation, it was a masterpiece. Alchemist, yeah. At least there's only 2 episodes left tomorrow and next Wednesday. And next week is National Treasure, which I'm looking forward to. Yes, Nicolas Cage is coming back, but for season 2. If season 1 is a hit, they'll do a season 2 next year. I'm looking forward to it. I want something different because Indiana Jones comes out next year, and I want to see more action adventures because I saw the Jack Hunter movies last year. They're fun. I got to do podcasts for those movies, but next year before Indiana Jones, just so I could prepare myself because I'm going all the way, guys. Next year, I'm going to do a lot of franchises, just not all in once. History, how lovely are your branches. That is nice. The Satan joke, yes, sucked. They didn't need that. It's offensive. And the Rod and Greg's jokes sucked because they were referring to 2 governors I don't like. Oh, I forgot about that joke, Classic Film Collector. I was like, DeSantis and Abbott. I didn't hear that joke because my dad talks over everything I watch. So yeah, some of the jokes are not good. They do not land. But when it's funny, like the black kid that looks like Finn, like John Boyega, he actually is funny. He's actually funny, unlike Boyega falling out of bed and all that. That's stupid. It's Disney Plus. What do you expect? They're not going to have the best written shows. Their best written show was WandaVision, and that was right after the pandemic started. So we needed laughs after that horrible year 2020, which is still the worst, by the way. No matter how many celebrity deaths happened between now and December 31st, 2020 was still the worst. We lost Bozeman, and that wrecked me. Randolph. I just want people to stop complaining, especially next year. If you're alive, don't Noel is something kind of funny, but other times he's just annoying. He's a kid, you know? He's a teenage boy. Little Sim's a little boy here too. He's a teenage. Hmm. Well, do people do decorate their houses, and the Nightmare Before Christmas is very popular at this time of the year because it's both a Halloween movie and a Christmas movie, so you get the best of both worlds. My mom hates the movie because like I don't like it. It's too morbid. It's too emo. It's too gothic. The songs make no sense. I'm like, it's a musical, and Tim Burton produced it, so it was going to be gothic, and it was claymation, which is more of a style that British people use for their animated movies. They don't have enough money to do CGI, so they just use clay. That's sweet. He's sleeping near an open fire. Dangerous, but in a household, it actually feels really good. My uncle used to have a fireplace in Pennsylvania, and that roaring fire felt so good on my hands. I don't have a chimney in my house. No, that's a nice painting. See, there's some good stuff in here, even though it's not a big budget version. That was the new movie that came out this year. We're 30 minutes in, so we got about another like 50 minutes. It's just Disney. They have to pull back so much. That's why you think the Guardians holiday special was mostly slapstick and chasing Kevin Bacon was the funniest jokes because James Gunn's restrained. When he did Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, he was unhinged because some of those jokes would never be on the CW or uh, HBO Max, for families. No, it's not for kids. That's dangerous. Partridge in a pear tree. What are nuns doing? Seven swans are swimming. Six, five golden rings. Ah, yeah. Again, what are nuns doing outside of a house, outside of a mansion in the middle of California? That doesn't make any sense. People are a bunch of cowards. They see Herman, or they see the Adams family, or if they see Casper, they like, oh, ghost. I'm like, trust me, guys. I've seen scarier things in my bathroom than I've seen these people. I love when people dress up in Halloween costumes or at Comic Con. It just looks amazing. I'm like, how do they do it? They cosplay and they look amazing. I saw Cool Duder's video on the Los Angeles Comic Con, and I was like, wow, these costumes are fantastic, man. Yeah, he is a yes. I love how expressive the Santa Claus is. Actually, there were shoes, but yeah, I don't think he wore boots in the show. And I lost my grandpa this year, so I know what it feels like. But he still lives in my heart forever, man. The boys and I that went to the bar. Sorry for your grandpa, though. Yes, I know he passed away back in April, but I miss him a lot. He was 80 something years old, and I did spend some time with him before he passed, so it wasn't a total loss, you know. At least he had a full life. Hmm. Yeah, I met a Santa in the mall. He was nice. He wasn't the problem with that job. Yeah, I love the Herman Munster laugh. He's touching his stomach. Yeah, I heard Kiki Palmer's pregnant. I don't know how, probably insemination because she's not married yet. But I'm happy for her. I hope she has a very healthy, beautiful black baby. Love you, girl. It makes me happy when someone's bringing life into this year after so much loss. That continues the mankind. So hot here. I shut my heat off, but it's very humid today. How do the Disney and Diamond Kids film look? I skipped the second one because I'm like I didn't like the first one. I thought it was painfully average, and the live action movies I just prefer over these cartoons because I know that they're more the illustrations from the books, but they're not funny. The movies were funny, very funny. The first three. I just think that those Diary of a Wimpy Kid animated versions are not necessary. You have the books if you want to read the illustrations. Santa, you're gonna break Santa's hip. Herman, you weight like 1,000 pounds. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna break his. Yeah, you're too heavy, dude. At least Eddie is little, and he doesn't weigh. Oh, I know. Hmm. At least Santa's in this movie. He's not just a cameo. He's got a presence in the film. Yeah, it's just Eddie's very emo in the movie, but again, it makes sense since he is a monster. If you don't mind me asking, how come you think it's a sin to be gay even though you're not a religious anymore? Because it's forced. People can't just be gay and just shut up about it. No, they have to blast it in my face. Throw, wave flags and freaking put it in Disney movies. Why? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you put that in a freaking kids movie? That's why Strange World flopped. That's why Lightyear flopped. It's why the Disney parks have been, less this year. People have been going less because they don't want to give Disney. They don't want to feed into their BS. Hmm. But anyway, I don't want to talk about Disney anymore. This is a Universal movie, not Disney. I prefer them. They still make stuff kid friendly, like the Minions movie. You mean the naughty list? The North Pole, yeah. Then again, Beauty and the Beast did that, and it was successful. But again, it was at the very end. There was no kiss, and it was in animated. The animated version still is clean, but the remake, I'm like, I thought it was boring. Despite the hiccup that they had in the movie, it was just too long, and they had to constantly remind people of the 1991 movie because you can't do your own thing. You have to constantly remind people of the past. That's what this decade has been so far. Let's reboot things that don't need to be rebooted. Because when you remind me of the past, I'm like, I just want to go back to the past and just enjoy that instead of getting some rebooted version. With Star Wars, you don't need to remind me Luke is still around. Bye, white people. Bunch of cowards. And what are people singing outside of their house in broad daylight? Usually people do that at night, not during the day. I don't live in the suburbs, so I wouldn't know. I live in the city, but people don't sing outside my house unless they're drunk. And remember, Beauty and the Beast was before the pandemic. Once the pandemic happened, people got gayer and they started throwing agendas in my face. I'm like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. For kids don't care about sexual preferences. Beauty and the Beast came out before the pandemic. It was 3 years before. And back then there was no Disney Plus. Hey, little Sims, you just made it halfway through. We get it. These people exist. Black people, Asians, Spanish people. We get it. Minorities exist. But when you shove it down our throats, we're sick of it. There's the guy that likes Marilyn, who was barely in the movie. He disappeared for like 20 minutes. That's addressing the TV show. I mean, I was so upset with Disney this year. I didn't go to their parks, and I haven't seen an animated movie at Disney since Frozen 2 in the theater. That's how much I'm rebelling. Because in because 2020 the pandemic happened, so I didn't see anything Disney in the theater. And then last year I'm like, nope. I saw Luca at home, loved it because it was beautiful. He's not there to sing. Tom. Yes, boy. See, keyword. Dart, dart, dart. Yeah, there's the crumbling. What they never explain is what happened to her parents, because she lives with her aunt, uncle, and her grandfather. But what about her parents? Maybe in the next movie they'll explain what happened to Marilyn's parents. I threw 10, 1 through 10. What rating would you give my second movie? A 7, because it's passable. It's good for what the budget you had to make it. Those Sims. And it was good to see Elaine Hendricks play a nice character and not a villain, because she was a villain in The Parent Trap. So she's cute here. I like her like when she's not just playing a villain, because she was stereotypical. It was either her or who was another actress that looks like her? I know there was another actress that looked like her that played villains all the time. Not Lindsay Lohan. I know there was another. Hmm. 608 years old. That was funny. Yeah, it's good to have good. It's good to have a state ID, guys. If any of you guys, even when you're 14, it's good to have a state ID, or in your own country, if you live in Canada, a country ID, a Canadian ID, because people want to know who you are. And these really are little people. They're not big, big actors with on CGI faces. No, they didn't do that till the 2010s. Because it's good to hire little people as as elves or as munchkins. Do you have at least anticipated movie next year? Craven the Hunter is one of them. We don't need that movie. You know why it got pushed from January to October? Because it's gonna suck. Morbius sucked. Venom sucked. This movie's gonna suck. Stop making these Sony villain movies. Sony, you don't know what you're doing. Without Spider-Man or Miles or whatever, or even Gwen, there's no point in these villains having their own films. If you're not gonna do it right, don't put it. Because Venom is a good character in the cartoon, in the comics. But then when Spidey's not there, who's he going to fight? Another Venom? Nobody cares about that. Most anticipated. What's your most anticipated animated film? Animated, probably Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, because Elemental, I'm still suspicious because Disney cannot be trusted. I know that now. I say Across the Spider-Verse because the first movie was well done. Sleeping potion. Those candles are a nice touch. It's not a menorah. It's just a candlestick like Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast. Mm-hmm. I know I'm not. That's why, because I'm like I don't my people skills. Yeah, there's the key. I do these podcasts because I'm alone. See, I don't have distractions. I don't have people talking. I don't have dogs barking. I don't have babies crying. I don't have people screaming outside. It's just me and these four walls and you guys. That's it. Private. That's why I do these podcasts alone. So I don't get distracted because I hate being distracted. We're almost an hour in, so the movie's not that long. That's why I chose a short film. Aren't you excited for the new Mario Bros? Yes, but I'm concerned. Because I'm looking forward to that. But the thing is, I saw the second trailer. It looks amazing. But with Pratt's voice, it's not going to hit the spot that Charles Martinet did in '96. So just he is Mario to me, voice wise. That's why he's done the voice for so many decades. It's like replacing SpongeBob's voice without Tom Kenny being there. It wouldn't be the same, would it? My most anticipated movies are Dune Part 2, definitely. Oppenheimer, no, I can skip that. Nolan, the Mario's movie, Disappointment Boulevard, never heard of it. Wish, never heard of that. Elemental, I'm concerned. Creed 3, I never seen the first two Creeds. John Wick Chapter 4, definitely. Wonka, yes. Chevalier, never heard of, etc. Where are their Marvel movies? Where's Ant-Man 2, 3, which I'm seeing first? He didn't fall asleep. Santa was turned into I think, a fruitcake or something. Yeah, some of those movies I never heard of. And Cocaine Bear looks ridiculous. And yeah, he's a fruitcake. That was 2022. Everyone, Fruitcake Land. I don't even like the name of that. It's not a fruit and it's not cake. It looks like a hunk of coal. Poor Santa. Yep. Yes, I forgot Ant-Man 3 and Guardians 3. Thanks for refreshing my memory. Disappointing Boulevard's Ari Aster next film with Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, he's great. But A24, those movies are weird. They're beyond weird sometimes. They make the Asylum look like they make sense. The only A24 movie I saw was one of them was Free Fire, I think was an A24 movie, and Room. But those weren't weird. They were dark and adult and in the real world. There weren't some a crazy sheep or a guy masturbating in Lighthouse. No, I don't need any of that. Just tell a good story. Don't be weird. Not too weird. Nobody does. Yeah, I don't like fruitcake. No, I don't like it. Wish is Disney's next animated movie without Pixar. Well, then I pass. I could wait for Disney Plus. Chevalier is a Searchlight movie. Don't never heard of it. Also, Barely Lethal is an A24 movie, but again, that didn't feel like it. There wasn't a Friday the 13th 2009 sequel because the first one was hated by critics. So, Dark Angel. You spelled sequel wrong. You put squeal or squeal. It's Sequel. I think Wish is going to be 2D. It's not mistaken. That's why I'm excited so far. I'm had learned nothing. Yeah, because again, Disney knows that they screwed up this year. If they don't get their family-friendly content back in the theaters, they'll lose the customer. If it wasn't for Mando on Disney Plus, I would never watch it again, to be honest. Because they're Marvel shows, I could watch it somewhere else. Also, Shazam 2, I'm looking forward to because it was supposed to come out next, like this weekend, but because of Avatar, everything had to be pushed to 2023. Thanks a lot, Avatar. Do you think people think that a Nightmare on Elm Street remake is worse? Yes, because it's not good. It's horrible. I saw the Friday the 13th remake. It's not as bad as people say it is. At least Jason is in the movie. It's not a copy of the 1980 version. It's different. Ugh, fruitcake. Jason Traps, yeah, that was different, but it was good for what it was. It's not even the worst remake. It's not. It did its own thing, which is what I want a remake to do, not shot for shot like Psycho. Even if it was released in the 2000 and had no agenda, Strange World would probably still be rated PG, but it was still flop because Treasure Planet didn't have any agendas, and that movie bombed too. Sci-fi is just not Disney's strongest thing. Unless it's Star Wars, they fail. And even they failed with the last two. Solo flopped, and Rise of Skywalker bombed critically. You got to learn how to do it right. Go look at Wreck-It Ralph again and its sequel. That's sci-fi done well. Or the first three Toy Story movies, even four. The second one is the most sci-fi-ish. Toy Story 2. It can work. Just don't preach. It's not needed. There's a time and a place for that. It's not in the movie theaters. I wasn't going to see Strange World. I wasn't going to see Strange World even if it was a G-rated movie and had no agendas because it just didn't look interesting to me. It looked like a knockoff version of I don't know, Fantastic Voyage, just not done well. Even the animation, I'm like, it's not blowing me away like Luca, or Toy Story 4, or even why did these Disney films flop this year? Get you. What do you think? Why you think, Little Sim? Did you read up on why? Because Disney is preaching woke gay agendas in their kids' movies, and people do not care about that. If you can't take your kids to a Disney movie, what can you take them to? A R-rated movie? It's not needed. It's just not needed. No one's asking for it. That does look good. I think that's eggnog. I usually drink it. Ugh. It's a practical effect. You can't do that. That's cannibalism because Santa's in. Then again, that's why parents should be treating PG movies as G-rated, maybe unless it's something like Minions. Yeah, but Minions never had a gay joke in it. Any of them. Not even the Despicable Me films. They're funny. Those little yellow corn pops with eyes are fantastic. They crack me up. They just hit each other and it makes me laugh. What's funny about a feminine black kid with an afro and a little hat and a splat? That splat thing is the laziest design of a comic relief I've ever seen. It's a blue, sticky piece of gum. Yay. It just didn't look funny to me. It didn't. Poor Santa's he's getting eggnog boarded. Yes, this movie's silly, but it's enjoyable. Did you hear about trolls on StreamYard showing inappropriate stuff? Yeah, well, I don't go on StreamYard anymore, Little Sims. I have YouTube. They can never when there's spam, I remove them immediately. That's not really eggnog on her face. That's milk. It's just serious, probably. The Strange World thing with the splat creature. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't guarantee it that. We're almost an hour in. Look at those legs shot. Also, Disney, we want women to be sexy again. Stop trying to take that away from us. We don't want girls wearing pants from the 1800s. We don't want girls completely covered all the time. Did you see Star Wars? Did you see Return of the Jedi? Leia did not. They did not care if they were offending feminists or not. No, Lucas specifically wrote in his script: Leia wears a slave outfit so she can be demoted from a princess to a slave. Again, it didn't bother people back then. Hell, it's more revered than anything the hobo wears because she's always covered, and there's nothing sexy about that. I'm sorry. Captain Marvel was completely covered, but the thing is, Brie is sexy. Her face is sexy, though the way she carries herself is. And I don't care what anybody says. When she gets the Warbird costume, everybody's going to love it because that's in the comics. It's a black and gold outfit and a bathing suit. There's nothing wrong with that. Stop saying PG-13 means you can show a little ass. It's not going to hurt anybody. That's beautiful eyes. And Magnuson. Be careful what you wish for, lady. You know why Stranger Things did well this year? Because it kept the show consistent. Season 4, people loved it, and they're getting a 5th season next year and a bunch of spin-offs. They kept the kids mostly likable, and they kept the tone. They didn't go from this is dark and gritty to a cartoon. Just saying, and they didn't have to make one of the characters gay. It's not needed. That's not scary, Herman. It's just a hat moving like this. It's rubber, actually. So I was wrong. There's no CGI here. That is a cool idea. A dessert transformation serum. That's kind of cool. It's an idea. Hey, Disney never did that before. You can turn someone into a dessert. Oh, an apple pie or a birthday cake or an ice cream cone. It'd be interesting. What annoys me about Disney nowadays is their lack of interest in putting out movies and showing things on physical media compared to the decades ago. Yeah, because they do release some of their Disney animated films on Blu-ray and the Marvel movies, of course, but they don't release freaking Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian on Blu-ray. I'm like, why not? People would buy it. They buy all your Mandalorian merchandise. Baby Yoda went over. You know why? Because he's cute and does something. He's part of the plot. He's not some stupid running gag like in Strange World. He has a personality, and he never says a word. Grogu, excuse me, Baby Yoda, Grogu. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen in Star Wars since the Ewoks and things like that. Because the Porgs were just there to sell toys, and they didn't sell toys. They were ugly. They were like little penguins with anime eyes. Christmas Eve, yep. Barbarian was a huge hit and Amsterdam was a huge flop. Disney released Amsterdam with physical media today, but not Barbarian, even though it's been over 3 months since the theatrical. Baffling. Yeah, that's the thing. They don't want to release things officially. That's why people just get bootlegs at conventions and yard sales. They make bootleg Blu-rays of the shows. What they do is they burn a copy and they put it on Blu-ray. I'll take that over not having it because I like to have things physically. That's why I buy the Marvel movies. I bought a bunch of them this year. Yeah. I just got Thor on Blu-ray, the real thing, and I didn't give Disney a dime. I got it for free through their website, Movie Insiders. Yeah, for free. I got it with points, not monies, because they don't deserve my money. Warner Brothers and Paramount did way better this year. They pandered less and they made $1 billion. So kiss my freaking heterosexual ass, Disney executives. If you ever do StreamYard, do not put the link in the description. I won't. I'm just going to be here because I'm safer here. I feel much safer here than StreamYard with that duck and people just coming out of nowhere. We get some tissue. Disney has to change their ways or they're going to lose all their properties to somebody else. 41%. That's almost half of their income for the year. Being lazy when it comes to physical media annoys me probably as much as their obsession with political agendas. Again, that's why they're failing. That's why people are they're not buying Disney movies at yard sales anymore because they're like, hey, I don't need this. I have the movies on Disney Plus. Not everything is on Disney Plus. I have a lot of movies that say otherwise that are either Fox movies or Disney movies with the Disney logo that are still not on Disney Plus. I only get rid of the movies I don't need that are on Disney Plus, like the National Treasure movies. I got rid of one of those. The movie's almost over. I'm glad that I put a shorter film because Die Hard was 2 hours. Good stunt work, by the way. That wasn't her. That was another person. No, there is no CGI in this movie. I was wrong. The 2022 movie has CGI. They don't want to release, see how they run on physical, even though they got a wide release. I don't, but pissed off that Disney refused to release it because they said people are not buying physical media anymore because, stores are carrying less discs, except for Dollar Tree. Those always have a lot of discs, but those are basically Kmart and Walmart, bargain bin films that they threw there. But I'm still buying physical media. I got another haul to show you guys on New Year's Eve, so get ready for that. So he's a ball now. The Christmas tree. Now he's a Christmas turkey with a beard on it. That's kind of funny. Halloween, yeah, that does make sense for. I made a new comment. What? Those trolls always be racist. Yeah, and I don't like that. As far as I'm concerned, I would likely be collecting physical media until the end of my life. Yeah, because again, there's things that are not on streaming. That Mario Brothers movie from '93, you can't find that on a streaming service. You have to look for it like a BitTorrent to find it. It used to be on YouTube for free, but Nintendo's like, nope, we don't want our names subjected to that, so we're going to pull it out of YouTube. That's how much it matters, not just to me, but to other collectors. Yeah, I'm a collector. I can collect digital copies if they come in a Blu-ray or DVD. That's fine. Yeah, they're in a bar, but it's not a gay bar. In Guardians, it was not needed. You didn't need that in the holiday special. We get it, Disney. You're trying to pander to the LGB. We don't care. Kids don't care. Yep, here we go. Biker scene. This is in every 80s and 90s action movies. They had like a bar, like Roadhouse and Stone Cold. Yeah, there's some really good action movies that have a bar scene. Even Sonic had a really good bar scene. See, that's a PG and it earns it and it's funny, man. I love that movie. So good. And the sequel, I loved it this year. That's how you do a kids movie, Disney. Is it strange that Disney refused to release Snow White on deep video until 1994 on the Aristocats? Because the movie was decades old. Yeah, non-lethal. I don't want to drink alcohol. My poor grandpa was an alcoholic for almost his entire life because he hung out with the wrong people. I don't like drinking, guys. It tastes horrible and it ruins your brain. I have my bottle of bubbly and it's non-alcoholic, so it'll get me through next year. The sugar will get me through 2023 because I'm like, yeah, I don't like alcohol. I just don't like the taste of it. I don't even like it in my desserts. Of Thursday. It is. What's your opinion on the Polar Express? It's a good movie. Partner and Rice, nice Christmas movie, and I'm watching Kung Fu Panda and Godzilla vs Kong. Good movies. They were originally hesitant to release it in '94 because they always considered the movie to be sacred to them. Yeah, yet they're remaking it. How sacred are their movies now when they're just remaking it and altering their original films, like The Lion King on Disney Plus? Fortunately, the fans who demanded it got a release. Yeah, and I have it on Blu-ray, so it'll never disappear because it's in the film registry, meaning it will never be lost to the time. So suck it, Disney executives, you and your greed, and that's why you failed. Universal may have made a dumb Jurassic World movie, but it made me laugh, and it made $1 billion. Damn. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Oh my God, bosoms! It looks like Heather Stevens is uh, Heather Stevens borrowed this from this girl and in Tomcats, and I couldn't hide my excitement, guys. If I tried, oh look, a puppy. That's so cute. There he is. Yep. Dun, 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 dun. That was good. It's a good scene. Poor Santa. He probably was doing another project, so he'd had to disappear for the like a third of the film. I just I just hope that I just hope the Santa Claus is it ends well. Really? So like Doctor Strange? It was one of the first movies in the National Film Registry, and for good reason. I can see Tango, Wreck-It Ralph, or Frozen entering it too, but some of their recent movies, no. Their recent movies are going to be forgotten. Strange World won't even be. You know who's going to watch Strange World next year? Stoners. They're going to get so high they're not going to know what's going on. That's a movie that people are going to see when they're high on freaking LSD. That's what it looked like. That guy has a weird laugh. That little guy's got a lot of charm. Bikers, Hell's Angels. Hopefully next year I'll get Reindeer Games and I could do a podcast for that. Yes, I don't hate Charlize Theron, Josh. What the problem is, most of the movies that she's done, she picked roles that were just not for me, like Italian Job, which she did for a paycheck, and also Snow White and Huntsman. I was like, yeah, it's a little too much. It's a sweet kiss, because yeah, because again, ooh, that joke did not age well. For example, even though I didn't hate Lightyear, I'm certain that it'll never be in the registry. No, because of the agendas, they don't want it. They don't want to preserve garbage. No going back. Sorry to piss off that movie's hardcore fans, but there is no hardcore fans. No one went to go see it. I love Toy Story, and I didn't even see it. I'm like, oh, you're not going to cut the gay kiss? Okay, goodbye. Bye. I'll just go to the theater to see Space Jam. Dun, 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 dun. This is a good idea. His brain is going to make the toys. That's interesting. See, it's called ideas, Disney. Get some new ones. Stop stealing from better people. You know? Damn. Fantastic Voyage came out before I was even born, and that's a much more visually stunning, better film. That's not some gay agenda garbage for kids. Because it's for kids. He's looking at it as a toy catalog. Yeah, because machines do everything for people now. Their cell phones and tablets and freaking computers. Computers pretty much do everything for people. Fantastic Voyage is a pretty cool movie, and it's a classic. Film collector. It's a classic movie that does not need a remake. I remember seeing it years ago. Me too. I have to watch it again because after Strange World put a in my mouth, I'm like, I'd rather watch the real deal or Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, or Journey to the Center of the Earth. Those are good stories, and they never had to pander. It's just not needed. I think even the bikers are doing something in this movie. That's saying a lot. Rings. See? A toy catalog. I haven't seen one of those since the 2000s. Agreed. It is a classic, ahead of its time. Yeah, because it did a really. It didn't have CGI to do the effects, so they just went for practical, and it looks really good. But not as ahead of its time as 2001: A Space Odyssey, another visually stunning movie, and Interstellar as well, which that was the last Nolan movie I cared about, because I didn't see Dunkirk, and I still haven't seen Tenet because I heard it was pretentious. Because Nolan can't tell a good story anymore. He just wants to make a movie long. Yeah, it's very pretty, but you got to give me a good character to latch on to. There's the Hearst. I know the feeling, Grandpa. But they steal it. You're gonna get a shot. That was kind of funny. It's just this actor doesn't look like him. If he looked like the grandpa, I would have said it. But his eyes are too big. I don't know. Just yes, the grandpa had a New York accent because Al Lewis had a New York accent in Car 54. So they had to give him a New York accent, And I know because I live in New York. So yeah, there's the cops. Yes, the cops exist in this reality. I thought that was Paul Sorvino. No, he was doing some other movie in the 90s. I think the CGI is at the end when they're flying. Yeah, but that's I think the only scene that has CGI. The makeup is all practical and looks great. It's like, oh. Everybody in this town is a coward. It's funny because when whatchamacallit, Marilyn's guy in the show, he doesn't run away because he's not a coward. He's one of the only humans that doesn't run away from Herman or these other characters. Other than Pratt, what are the reasons why the Lego movie is not your favorite animated movie anymore? It's just I don't know. It's just the plot is been done before. It's been done. Toy Story, the unfortunately the Emoji movie that came out after that. You had and there's just better movies that were hand drawn that are better. Plus, I thought the ending was leading to something great. Yay, we're getting a sequel about 5 years too late. Sorry, Warner Brothers, but you screwed the pooch. The Lego Batman movie was that was still where it peaked for me for Lego movies in the theater because the Lego Ninjago movie was fine, but it wasn't as good as the Lego movie or Lego Batman. Their Lego movies of DC and Marvel were pretty good. Shazam, The Flash, I love that movie so much. Lego Marvel, I really enjoyed those, but please don't do another Lego movie. It's not going to work. Yeah, this is the part, I think, the CGI. Yes, every single year, Santa. Do you have a favorite and least favorite Rankin Bass? My favorite one is Rudolph. That's one of my favorite ones. There's not really a least favorite because I like Jack Frost, but it has a downbeat ending. I love the villain in that, Kubla Klaus. It's a great villain. He's a Russian villain that I can take seriously. The problem is it's so sad because, Jack Frost is in love and then he doesn't get the girl at the end, which is kind of downbeat. But I like the story. I like his story. It's not a Christmas movie either. I love Herman's Santa outfit. It's cool. It's like Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, this is when they fly. Dash away all. Yep, fairy dust. Does that sound familiar? I can't wait to fly. My favorite is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Absolutely classic. The least favorite, Cricket on the Hearth. Yeah, I don't really like that one. It's animated. It's not like dolls. It's just it has a really like the ending just made no sense to me. It just comes out of nowhere. It should have just been a love story. That's it. And the cricket voiced by Roddy McDowell. That's it. But the ending, a little on the nose, Rankin and Bass. I just thought you don't have to. Again, don't preach. We get what the holiday's about. You don't have to. Dun, 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 dun. And to all a good night. Yeah, see, that's a CGI background. They tried to do it as practically as much as they could for a TV movie in '96. Christmas Day. Yep, we're about 19 days away. Plus, what was that with the cat burlesque scene in that special? Cat burlesque? I don't remember. I haven't seen it in years. What were they thinking? Well, it was the '60s. They were high as a kite. Some people thought that the Cats movie was going to work, and it failed. Excuse me. That was nice of Santa. Yeah, he gets him the present. The movie's almost over. Ooh, that's hot. Yeah, Lily's outfits are sexy. Hmm. That is a hot outfit. I do like it. It's not even dark. It's like light and red. Mm. Mm. I know. Yeah. There's the family. Yeah. All practical makeup. Yeah, there's no CGI. I think that there was only a CGI background at the end. There's the Invisible Man. You got the Huntback of Notre Dame. You have Colonel Custard, I think, the Mummy. Some people don't like the Little Drummer Boy. It's okay. I like the song. It's another one of Reckon's best specials. Wink, wink. There's the Wolfman. There's the Phantom of the Opera. There's a lot of classic horror icons. None of this, Megan or whatever the hell this is, or Saw or Leatherface. Just let it rest, guys. Let these iconic horror icons rest in peace. Stop bringing them back. It's not needed. Some people don't. What Little Drummer Boy I saw it as a kid, but I haven't seen it in years. Could take this hat off. It's giving me a headache. I wore it for over an hour. I think I'm entitled to taking it off. See, it's meta. You see people wearing a costume? Wink, wink. So there's a clown there. In the trailer for Megan, the doll pulls a teenage boy's ear. That made me burst into laughter. Yeah, it's ridiculous. She looks like she's having a spasm. It's a good idea, but like I said, Chucky exists, guys. That's what Little Sims does. He doesn't even know what Megan is. Man, she got broke. Her fingers are broken. It's like Doctor Strange. With that movie, it was more cringe, though. Here it's supposed to be a joke. That's nice. Yeah, I love looking at snow. I don't like shoveling it, but I love looking at it. And it's beautiful. I get that it doesn't need to be A24, but yeah. Horror movies are supposed to scare or at least startle. Yeah, exactly. When the Batman is a scarier horror movie than anything else that came out this year, that's saying a lot. Because at least the Batman had a tone and it had this eerie, dark feel to it with when the Riddler was around. I was terrified. I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen. That's what a horror movie's supposed to be. Scary or be fun. Don't try to be something you're not. That's hard at the end. The organ is a nice touch. It's probably gonna be the most. Hey, oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, this is fun. That was fun, guys. I love these characters so much. The Munsters are like my top 100 favorite TV shows of all time. Period. Megan's probably going to be the most unintentionally hilarious movie. Yeah, like maybe a Sharknado, but I hope that this is not the whole movie. That her moving like she's having a spasm because I hated the Enchantress and Suicide Squad. But anyway, that was the Munsters Scary Little Christmas. I had fun doing this again. It's got a lot of heart. It's funny. It's charming. It's not offensive. There's some jokes that did not land, but again, it was 1996. I can forgive movies like this because they were made at a different time before people were overly sensitive and preachy. But thank you for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you later this week for another podcast or review. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining me in the chat, guys. Peace. Stay safe. Bye. End.